Hey, what's up out there, everybody? Thank you guys as always for stopping by the channel. Today we're talking about a new action movie called Ava. It stars Jessica Chastain, John Malkovich, Colin Farrell, Common, and the great Geena Davis. It's your familiar spy thriller with plenty of international intrigue and well-dressed characters getting their gun off. So let's dive into it to see what it brings to this heavily played genre.
Put security around my family on high alert.
The plot line in this one is pretty much cut and dry. You have Ava, played by Jessica Chastain. She's an assassin that works for this black ops organization. She has a checkered past, but her skill at eliminating targets around the globe kind of overshadows that. Her handler, Duke, played by Malkovich, has done his best to keep her in good standing with the organization until an op goes wrong and suddenly Ava finds herself the target of the people that once employed her. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you this story is unique. I will admit it doesn't really do anything in this genre that we haven't already seen many times before. I mean, from the characters to the plot points to the international locations to the styling of the action, it is all a retread of elements we've seen time and time again. Yet, despite all that, I was still able to have a good time with this movie. I was still able to invest in the characters, and as a huge fan of this genre, I felt the action was more than intense enough to have me invested in where it was going, and that's really despite the fact that you can already assume one of two ways that this story is going to conclude. So regardless of the familiarities it provided, I was able to find more than enough entertainment in it. Now, I won't say it was a great movie simply because the story and its plot points did feel extremely familiar, but it was a good movie. The action as well was conveniently similar to a lot of other films in terms of styling and the character dynamics. Yes, they were all by the numbers. But what did make this movie work for me primarily was the cast, starting with Chastain, who I felt brought a ton of energy and effort to a role even she knew had been done before. She was able to add some small nuances to the role with her acting talents that subtly did make the character her own, with some genuine emotional layering, and I felt she was able to do a good job of putting her own spin on this character. She also absolutely delivered on the stunt work side, which really allowed the action and the fight sequences to just pop off the screen. The choreography was tight, and she pulled off close to what Charlize provided in Atomic Blonde in terms of just brutal fight sequences. I mean, sure, the intricacy of these sequences wasn't on the same level as that film, but to me they were surprisingly close, and I felt Chastain just really did deliver the deadly assassin that this movie needed from her. I thought Chastain did a great job of carrying this movie on her shoulders and creating a character that you can get behind and root for, but she wasn't alone because both Malkovich and Farrell come in to amplify a couple of generic characters with their screen presence and gravitas alone, and it didn't take much more than that from them to elevate these characters from being completely forgettable. But to each their credit, both did get their hands dirty in terms of mixing it up in the action department, which I enjoyed and appreciated. So when you go into this movie seeing all the familiar faces, you can be assured that everybody is given something to do, even down to the great Geena Davis, who in a small role delivered a couple of just charming moments with Chastain. Common was a solid addition as well, although his character was much more used as a plot device, with him not really being given a lot of backdrop to work with, but I think he made the most out of it. So I would definitely say the talents of the cast were utilized about as good as they could have been to elevate this cut and paste actioner. Now, I know throughout this review I've repeated the word familiar a few times already, but don't let that discourage you. This movie may feel like a lot of others while watching, but something that at least made it work for me was the effort in it overall, and the filmmakers clearly taking it seriously, almost to say as if we know this has been done before, but not our way, so just give it a shot. And for me, that was enough to have me engaged in the movie. The film progresses with a nice smooth flow as well. It takes just enough time to weave some story layering to Ava's character to add a little bit more just substance to that simple assassin premise. She's got a family, she's got a checkered past. Those dark issues, along with the other being her employer trying to kill her, did overlap with plenty of appeal and intrigue, and sprinkled in throughout all that are some delightfully violent action sequences that pulled me up in my seat each time and did get the adrenaline going. Ava definitely takes some beatings, but she delivers many more, and watching Chastain in the role was a great time, so in the end, I'm going to give Ava a solid 70% on the meter. It's not going to blow you away, but it is a polished film. The action is nicely shot and orchestrated to hit with a lot of impact. The talented cast brings some life to some lifeless characters, so if you like this genre, I would certainly recommend giving it a shot. Now for today's My Silver Screen recommendations, I have 3 other female-led assassin movies for you guys to recommend. First up, the previously mentioned Atomic Blonde, starring Charlize Theron. Next up, I would select the Geena Davis classic, The Long Kiss Goodnight, a movie that I feel has popped up on these recs a couple of times already, but it's still a great flick, worthy of a watch if you haven't seen it. And finally, I'll be selecting a recent film that I had plenty of fun with called Anna from director Luc Besson, starring Sasha Luz. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, leave a comment below. I'd love to talk movies with you guys. Share it with your friends, and without question, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can never miss a video. Here are some links to some recent reviews just in case you missed them. All my social media links and the link to our official website are down in the description below, and I'll catch you next time.